My name is Preeti Agarwal. I'm a cell and developmental biologist.
Hi, I'm Vaibhavi. I'm a theoretical biologist.
Hi, I'm Dhruvo. I'm an evolutionary ecologist.
I'm Meghna. I'm an ecologist.
Hi, I'm Maushami. I'm a chemical biologist.
Hi, I'm Abhilasha Joshi. I'm a systems and computational neuroscientist.
And today I'm here to answer a few questions
To commemorate the
International Day for
Girls and Women in
Science.
all the troubleshooting that goes into it. 80% of the time, we're just figuring problems out, whether it is about something in the field not working or it is just the mundane processes of everyday like troubleshooting a code, figuring out an analysis, the data is not arranged properly or there are misses there, those kind of things. That's what we do most of the time. Although everyone thinks that it's like National Geographic.
It involves a lot of coming together of different parts, building things, electronics, computers, rats, and some abuses. Not to the experimenters, but to our code being buggy and our electronic equipments not functioning.
I think that people usually think biology is experimental, but using theoretical aspects along with these experiments can help us understand biological systems better.
Less assumptions about the personal life of people like women in STEM, because whenever we apply to a new position, the first things that are being asked are you planning to get married or planning kids and stuff? Like it affects our dedication and passion. So I think less amount of assumption would be good for women in STEM.
What I would like to see is more women in leading roles, and I would like to be society to be more accepted for women choosing different career paths and life choices, so that the science could be more inclusive, creative, and that benefits everyone.
So I would want to see accommodation for specific needs of women. Like I know more than male researchers, women tend to not choose to have children because that can compromise women's careers more, or not get married or something like that. Then there are specific physiological needs of women which are not accommodated because most of the STEM systems are designed for cis-straight men for that matter. And also if we talk about minority women, for instance, trans women might be transitioning or there can be gender dysphoria. So as a system, STEM needs to be more accommodative of these requirements of women.
Making discoveries.
The fact that we do what we do despite all of the challenges that are thrown at us, whether it is implicit bias, whether it is managing multiple roles, or the fact that we often have to prove ourselves much more than many of our male colleagues, but we still do it, and we do it so well.
What I'm proud of being a woman in STEM, I think gratitude would be a better word, because I had the privilege to choose and stay in this field. Most of the women in STEM don't get the choice. So yeah, I'm proud to be in this field and a lot of gratitude that I got the chance to do it.
I am proud of building an independent research group which is driven by curiosity, collaborative and joy in science, and one of the most rewarding feature of my job is mentoring the students and seeing them grow as a more confident and creative and independent scientist.
I've always been interested in education and science. Throughout my undergrad and masters, I've been exposed to education and pedagogy. And during my masters, I had the opportunity to attend a summer program which exposed me to science research. And I'm proud that now I'm able to pursue an equally important interest of mine.
So women are often thought of incapable of reasoning, and trans women are not an exception to that. So being a woman in science and being particularly a trans woman in science is something that I'm proud of, that I'm creating that representation, and this is an experience that I cherish.
My name